Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Onyx, and I'm your chief show attendant. On behalf of the two hosts and the rest of the crew, welcome aboard Weird Wednesday Flight number 13, non-stop, from your current location to parts unknown. Our flight will be at about 2 hours, and we'll be flying at the speed of sound. At this time, make sure your seat backs and tray tables are in their full upright position, and that your seatbelt is currently fastened. Enjoy the ride.
What's up, everybody? How's it going? Welcome to Weird Wednesday once again. How's it going, Jamie?
Hey, it is going.
It's going.
It is going. I just packed my nose like some bearings with Vicks.
We gotta grease them bearings.
Yeah. Got that Weird Wednesday nose stuff, whatever happens to me.
Yeah. Weird Wednesday ectoplasm. Oh, man.
What about you?
No, crazy. Running around like a chicken with no head, spewing blood and guts everywhere. That's how my day was going, pretty much.
You got that sound issue cleared up pretty quick.
Yeah. I was going to resort to a hammer. I'm like, oh no, I'm going to fix it one way or the other. I'm going to fix it or I'm going to throw this thing in the garbage. I have a bad time with mixers. I should like open my closet over there and pull out all my mixers that are like dead. Why am I keeping them? I don't know. I need to throw
Just in case.
Just in case I need a good paperweight. I just bought a new mixer, actually. Well, I just bought 2 new mixers, but for the band. But yeah, I got a big, huge one back there. It's kind of scary. Lots of knobs and switches and inputs and all kinds of stuff. Gonna give it the old test this weekend.
How many shows you got?
Playing Friday and Saturday and maybe Sunday.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't know. I was having one of those stressful band practices yesterday. It's like my guitar player doesn't have a computer and like he still has a flip phone. So, I mean, dude, he's great, but he's 75 and he's like not up on technology whatsoever. So he can't really listen to the music. Like I'm giving him new songs to learn, and he doesn't ever listen to them because he doesn't have anybody to listen to him. So I'm like, fuck, I'm like fighting an uphill battle here.
Oh, damn.
I've like made him a CD. I'm like, you got a CD player? Yeah. So I'll make a CD, with the songs on it. I can't get it to play. Like, fuck.
You can't send him a tutorial.
Nope, can't do that. Any links I send or anything don't show up because he's got a flip phone from 1982. So,
Wow.
yeah, the struggle's real there. Yes, still does. I remember we broke down. I helped him move a camper from 2 counties away, and the thing broke down, and he was freaking out. And I'm like, well, let me call a wrecker. He's like, well, how are you gonna do that? We don't get a phone book or nothing. I'm like, dude, welcome to the future. I have a smartphone. Yeah, I hate phones, but they do come in handy sometimes. Looked up the wrecker number and dialed it and handed him the phone. He's like, how did you do that? It's like magic. Are you a wizard?
It's magic.
It was sorcery. Yeah. Like, dude. And I gave him I gave him one of my laptops. I'm like, here, you have a computer. But he doesn't have internet service. So the damn computer's useless for that kind of stuff.
Can you tap into like a neighbor's Wi-Fi?
That's what I told him. I'm like, you need to
See what's open.
see if there's any unlocked, interwebs around your house there. Yeah. What?
Just
What
don't do banking on it.
Yeah. Yeah. Some people, it's like you try to get them up to, not to speed, but just, just to like coast and speed with new technology, and they just fight it. And you finally just throw your hand up and you're like, okay, whatever.
My cousin's like 6 years older than me. Same thing. It's almost like it's the devil, he wants nothing to do with it. Well, he learned enough to turn on the computer and search one thing online.
Yeah.
He can search one thing online, but he'd always want like music and stuff, and it couldn't figure it out. And he'd always ask me or Jeff, like, "Can you find this song? Can you find this song?" So we pull up all these songs, made a folder on his computer and stuff. Like, okay, look, Mike, calling you out, Mike. Every song that you want, it's right here in this folder. Just look, click the folder. It'll open your songs. Click the song you want. Every time. Can you play a song for me? Can you play that song for me?
Yeah.
And I think he's still got a flip phone.
Yeah. Yeah, it was one of those band practices where I was like, it's a 3-chord song, man. It's just fucking 3 chords.
Oh, man.
It's like really easy. I just got to the point I was like, fuck it. Let's just forget it. Let's move on. Not to mention, he's like, can you turn my monitor up a little bit? I can't hear myself. I'm like, Jesus Christ, dude, it's really loud. It's like, I think you might need a hearing aid. Well, that's some bullshit. Okay. It's making everybody else's ears bleed, but you can't hear it. Okay. We're all wrong. You're right. Yeah. Bands. Why do I torture myself?
For the love of music, man.
Yeah. I guess.
Marie says, I finally threw away a toaster oven I had for over 20 years. But some of the older stuff is worth hanging on to because it works way better than anything new that you're going to get today. So many old appliances are still working.
Yeah.
And the new stuff just craps out after like 6 months.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
I remember when I used to rent a house, like the last house that I rented, the refrigerator was from the 60s, and if you were barefooted on the tile, sometimes granted, it would shock you when you grabbed a hold of the handle, but it worked, kept everything frozen, kept everything cold.
It would shock you?
Yeah, it had a little shock issue. It was great when we have parties.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. But yeah, it worked.
How'd you mop the floor?
What's that?
How'd you mop the floor?
I just ended up wrapping the handle with some electrical tape, and that took care of the shocking issue. But I mean, it was from the 60s, I mean, you gotta maybe, okay, it shocked you a little bit, but it worked.
Yeah.
Moved in here, brand new house, had it built, brand new appliances. Freaking refrigerator didn't last 4 years, I think it lasted like 3. The water heater, the tankless water heater, new technology, that took shit after the first year. I've fixed the dishwasher twice, replaced the refrigerator, washers and dryers. The one I've got a washer that was my mom's washer. It's in the storage unit. It's from God knows when. Still works great, but the newer ones that I've bought, no, they don't last. Nothing lasts that's new.
It's not made to last.
No, not at all. Remember growing up, I'd always hang out down at the appliance store. It was like this old dude that he could fix anything, like anything, he could fix it. Nowadays, those kind of appliance stores don't even exist. Very rarely do you find one.
Yeah, my grandpa back then had gotten a rotisserie or something at a thrift store, and the heating unit or something was out. He fixed it, gave it to my mom. They still have that rotisserie. This still works to this day. They have a new one and everything, but yeah, they don't have those repair shops no more. And like Kirby vacuums.
Yep.
I can't tell you how many vacuums I've been through.
Exactly. Yeah, when they break, you just throw them away and go buy a new one.
I put them outside and say free, and usually it's gone the next day anyway.
Yep. Junk. We live in a world of junk nowadays. High-tech junk.
Just a bunch of crap.
One of my buddies, he's got a TV, it's a flat screen TV, and it quit working, and he's like, hey, you know how to fix this kind of stuff, right? I'm like, yeah, I can tell you right now it's not worth fixing. You could go buy a new one cheaper than you can buy the parts to fix this one, because it needs a circuit board in it. I'm like, it's not worth fixing, man. Yeah, I don't want to get rid of it. I throw the damn thing away.
Exactly.
I'm not going to come work on it.
No.
Although I did fix my dishwasher that way because it was $100 worth of parts versus $600 for a new one. So
yeah, then you just like refurbish your own dishwasher.
Yeah, and luckily, I can do that kind of thing because if I took it to the repair shop, there isn't it's not really an appliance repair shop. They don't really like to fix anything. They just like to sell you another used one that they've already fixed. They'll give you a trade-in. But they were like, yeah, blah, 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 blah. It'll be like $400 to fix it. They give you a price that, makes you want to run the other way. A leaf blower would be good in the house. Yep. JL has a point. There is that. See, I own my house, so I have no landlord to call when shit breaks. I'm the guy.
Buck
when,
stops there.
when my mom was still alive and kicking here, the dishwasher broke, and I'm like on the kitchen floor, laying there with my fat ass, like, trying to pull the dishwasher out. And she's like, why don't you just call the repairman? I'm like, because there is no repairman to work on this kind of thing, Mom. She was still like, isn't that appliance store down the street? Isn't that still there? Like, no, they closed down 20 years ago, Mom.
Damn.
Uh,
All right. So what you got going on? 'Cause my nose gets stuffier.
stuffier and stuffier. Well, this one, it's not really paranormal. It's not anything, but it is kind of weird. I just
That'll
kind of
work.
stumbled across it. I've got a few of those tonight. This one I found interesting. I don't know what I was even looking for, and I saw this. Um, I've been either surfing or in a boat, in the water pretty much my whole life. And I've seen a lot of strange things in the water. I've seen rattlesnakes, been out, surfing. I've seen an alligator in the ocean, all kinds of stuff. Never have I encountered what this girl encountered. A wild boar attacks an Oahu surfer in the waters off Kina Point. And you can see the bite mark in her board there where this wild pig bit her. But there's a reason for it. Maybe. If my windows will work here. On Molokai, an Oahu surfer had a wild adventure in the waters off Kina Point. It had nothing to do with the waves. Ingrid Seppel, who has been surfing for more than 35 years, was out trying a new break when she saw a dark shape in the water. She says, at first I thought it was a Hawaiian monk seal, which are common in the area. However, she noticed it wasn't moving. Then I thought it was just like a floating log or something. In the full interview with her is it's included at the bottom of the article, which I'm not going to read, but she said, that's when I realized it was a pig and it saw me. And then when it saw me, it started swimming toward me as fast as it could. I was shocked. I was trying to paddle away and it was very close and it was getting closer. So I turned around and the pig was right there and I pushed the board between the pig and me and it bit my board. And I watched the video of her interview. That was what the interview was talking about down there.
That's crazy.
She said it was a huge pig, had these big, huge, tusks.
Yeah.
She said while her board ended up with a big bite mark, she was able to swim away without any injury. She believes the wild boar may have been chased out in the ocean by hunters with their dogs and got caught in the rip current.
Oh.
It looked like it had injury on its face. Even with the close encounter with a wild pig, this longtime surfer says it won't discourage her from seeking out remote surf breaks. In fact, she aims to surf at 6 different locations every year that are new to her. But
so we got lots of boar around here, and they don't charge. I mean, that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Especially.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of weird stuff in the ocean, but never had a pig that wanted
Poor
to
pig.
me out. But yeah, she said when she got back on the beach, she paddled over. She was out there by herself, and there were some other guys kind of near her, and she paddled towards them, and they said they saw it, and they paddled away from it. And when they all went in, they got back on the beach. They saw the pig tracks running around on the beach, and they saw a bunch of dog tracks. So I think it was dogs that chased the pig into the water. But yeah,
Hibbs was scared.
Freaking pig. Yeah, those things are scary.
I know my ex used to pig hunt. Well, before we got married, he used to pig hunt, and I run into some boar. But think of the fear in the poor little thing. I mean, come on, running for his little life. That's sad.
Yep. I was up in like a little nature preserve that we have here. Is hiking in there. It wasn't hiking. I was riding my mountain bike in there, and one of those damn big old pigs came out on the path about 100 yards in front of me, and it stopped, and it was just looking at me, and I stopped, and I'm looking at it, and I stomped my foot at it, and it stomped its foot back at me and made this crazy noise that scared the shit out of me.
I thought you were going to say it ran.
It looked like it was gonna, and I was starting to freak out, and it just like went off into the woods, and I turned around and went the other way. I'm like, nope, I'm not fighting it out with a pig. And it's not like a pig, not like, a cute little pig. This thing was like,
oh, they're hairy and gnarly.
Gnarly thing with
bass snout. And...
yeah.
Yeah, they're vicious, but I just think when something's scared for its life, whatever they are, that's scary for her.
Yeah. Zach said he was smoking a flavored cigar. What flavor is the cigar? I've smoked a bunch of cigars, Zach. I used to smoke them all the time, but I've never tried a flavor, like a flavored cigar. Just, I don't know why. Just never have.
All right. So, I think I was starting out. Oh, yeah. A paralyzed man communicates his first words and months using a brain implant. What do you think the first things? Well, he thought, I want a beer. A completely paralyzed man who was left unable to communicate for months after losing the ability to even move his eyes has used a brain implant to ask his caregivers for a beer. Composing sentences at a rate of just one character per minute, the man also asked to listen to the band Tool loud, requested a head massage from his mother, and ordered a curry, all through the power of thought. The man, who is now 36, had 2 square electrode arrays surgically implanted into his brain to facilitate communication in March 2019 after being left in a locked-in state as a result of amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, or ALS. People suffering from the progressive neurodegenerative disease have an average life expectancy. What? Were you laughing?
Zach says, after a brain implant, I'd want a beer too.
No shit. And then some. Okay, so they can live 2 to 5 years, though they could live much longer. I'm getting so stuffed up by the minute. I can't even believe this. The late physicist Stephen Hawking lived another 55 years after his diagnosis. Until now, a brain implant has not been tested on a completely locked-in patient, and it was not known whether communication was even possible for people who had lost all voluntary muscular control. Ours is the first study to achieve communication by someone who has no remaining voluntary movement. And so now that's like their sole means of communication. Talks about whether, they have voluntary muscle control or not. It took 3 months of successful attempts before they were able to start getting yes or no type answers. So then it just goes on to talk about how they do it. But yeah.
Damn.
It's an important step for people living with ALS who are being cared for outside of the hospital environment.
Old Stephen Hawking.
Hello, my name is Stephen Hawking.
I'm such a dick.
Let's take drugs and go down on each other.
Okay. The weird things I find in a minute on the internet.
I don't know why I'm being stuck. This is like kind of upsetting.
Yeah. Stuffiness.
Like, why is it every time it's time for me? I'm not stuffy all day, all week till I sit down to read.
You're allergic to Weird Wednesday. Yeah, that is pretty cool though. How, see, like this kind of brain implants and stuff, are, this is like what they're meant to do, is like help people like this, and, people like Stephen Hawking so they can talk and stuff. But, then you have the downside of it where they put all kinds of things and they can like hack your brain chip and make you do crazy things. I've seen the movie. I know how it ends.
Exactly.
So let's see. What am I doing? I have no idea. I'm lucky I'm even talking at this point.
I'm really upset by this nose thing.
My number 2, I think you have, so I'm going to skip to number 3.
What was your number 2? Take it, because I have a lot of other stuff to read, and I'm not going to want to read as much as I thought.
It's okay.
Oh, the lights?
Nope. It's come on. My computer's struggling. Is it this one? I don't know. Let's see. Is it?
The radiation birds?
Yeah.
Yeah. Go for it.
Article number 2, a cache of 1,500 declassified documents has revealed a wide range of symptoms from UFO experiencers. What do you mean? The movie lied? The files, which were obtained through a Freedom of Information Act, request certain records collected by the government's secretive Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, AATIP. The request was filed by the UK tabloid The Sun and took over 4 years to be fulfilled. According to the paper, the files include dozens of reports of biological effects and injuries experienced by individuals who had encountered UFOs or anomalous vehicles. Among these 300 cases were instances of unexplained radiation burns caused by some form of energy-related propulsion system. Travis, what's his name? Individuals believed to have strayed too close to the anomalous vehicles. And I wanted to say Travis Barker, but no, he plays in a band. Also suffered from brain damage, nerve damage, headaches, and heart palpitations. They've been doing the drugs.
Watkins?
Yeah. Travis Walton. There you go. Brain fart, man. I want to meet that guy one of these days. One report, which looked into UFO sightings collected by MUFON, recorded additional symptoms ranging from paralysis to unexpected pregnancy. Uh-oh, the alien's been, you think, the anal probe.
Like immaculate conception.
Yeah. There were also references to telepathic communication, alien abduction, levitation, and teleportation. It concluded that there was evidence to support a hypothesis that some of the advanced systems are already deployed in an opaque to full U.S. understandings. So, once again, the old government has, always kind of denied, UFO behaviors and this and that. And, now they're coming out and saying, well, maybe there's some truth to it. Unexplained pregnancies and radiation burns and,
Lions and tigers and bears, oh my.
Yeah, Todd. He's got a good point there. He doesn't want anything in him that can be hacked by some antisocial 13-year-old asshat. Exactly. you're just cruising, you're in the grocery store, you're cruising, and that new chip they put in you, all of a sudden, you're like bathing naked in the avocado bin and throwing produce at people. Who knows? Have a story kind of like that coming up.
I didn't see Todd was here.
Yeah. So yeah, according to the government, it's funny how not just with aliens, but with all kinds of other stuff, you say something and you're like, oh, you're a conspiracy theorist. It's funny how all those theories are coming to light now. A lot of them are true.
I haven't been told I need to wear a tinfoil hat in probably a year and a half.
Yeah, exactly. Are tinfoil hats outdated now? They're like no longer needed.
I don't know. I would get that at least once every few months that I needed Jesus and a bigger tinfoil hat.
Yep. Yeah, I got one guy that he comments on my YouTube videos every once in a while. I'll do ghost box or something video or whatever, and he shows up. He's been a regular for the last 10 years. You shouldn't be doing that. You need Jesus. He'll give me a sermon about the evils I'm doing, and I'm a bad guy. Okay.
Yeah. So there's something that's been unusual shown in Israel. And I heard about it on Secure Team, and then I found the article that they used. Doesn't say much, just that this strange UFO formation was filmed in the sky above Hadera, Hadera, Israel, on March 31st of this year. And then they say, let me know in the comments what your opinions are. So that's the only information. You hear the people recording it, their responses and reactions. What do you guys think?
This is the one that has a video too, right?
Correct.
It's pretty strange looking. Let's just look at that bean footage.
And it looks like it lasted a while. Like it was just there for a while.
Yeah, a lot of weird things, are being seen around, and who knows? I mean, maybe they're UFOs, maybe there's some secret government, technology, or who knows? You can't believe anything these days. Let's see if I can get it to play now. That would be cool. Hey, there we go.
לא, יש פה משהו בשמיים. כמו, בואי תראי, קווים, וואו. אבל אני לא יכולה לראות את זה טוב. וואו. זה הכי טוב זה. קווים כאלה, בואי תראי משהו מיוחד, בואי. תראי רגע. אני רואה, נו מה. תראי. אני אנסה לעשות את זה לא בווידאו. נו מה, כוכב אדומה, מה? את לא רואה אבל את הקווים האלה? כן. מה כן? אני רואה, כן. או. אבל מה זה?
Pretty freaky looking.
וואו. מדהים, אבל מה זה?
So it's not moving or anything, and it's not like when there's a fire and the clouds a certain way, and like the sun trying to break through.
Because
Yeah.
when
Like when we have fires
we
and
come back,
the sun coming through the clouds sometimes is kind of weird like that, but you hear the birds chirping like it's maybe the morning.
Yeah, maybe morning or evening, I guess. Pretty weird.
Maybe it's getting darker. Yeah.
Yeah.
Glad Todd's in here. Todd, what do you think?
and you like that, man. נקודת אדומות.
Because it's completely still, right?
I think so, yeah. Yeah, it's pretty weird looking. I mean, I would definitely want to like take some pictures or video if I saw something like this in the sky, because I'd be like, what the hell? What in the tarnation is going on here? Whoa. But yeah, that's pretty freaky looking. I don't know. It's like Dragon Ball X or Z or something. I don't know what it is. But it would definitely get your attention. Who knows? Who knows over in those parts of the world what's happening right now?
Todd says, "Are you dodging the Nessie article?"
The Nessie article? Do I have a picture of that? Where is it? Where is it? What? What? It's the new Nessie.
It's not the new Nessie. It's what Nessie has always been.
There you go. It's
Oh,
Nessie.
you got it before I could.
It's Nessie about to get messy. What is that? Does anybody know? Strange. Speaking of strange things you see in the water.
It's a fish tongue.
Yeah. A dragon. An aquatic dragon.
It's a Loch Ness monster.
Debbie says, hey, weirdos. You're in the right place. Plenty weird. A ship that can cloak.
Think it's a drone?
Debbie says it's a whale penis. She said
Or
penis.
an octopus arm? Debbie said whale penis.
Yep.
Well, I'll say winner, winner, chicken dinner.
That's a lot of chicken, too. That's bigger than a thigh.
That indeed. Is a gooseneck clam.
Yep, a gooseneck clam. That's it. Exactly. I wonder if that's what people see and think it's Nessie. It did have the Nessie comparison shot there. It does look a lot alike.
Because as the article he sent said, people back then drew what they saw.
Yep.
There's cows, they draw a cow. There's an alien, they draw an alien. They see this coming out of the water, they draw this coming out of the water. Over time, it's been interpreted possibly as the Loch Ness monster, when indeed people could have just been gazing upon a whale penis.
Gazing upon a whale penis. Need to write a song about that. Weird, man. There's this. Before I got, sidetracked by the whale penis. big sidetrack. CIA files reveal that Soviets were deploying cybernetic mind control, telepathy. Newly released documents suggested that the Soviet Union was experimenting with telepathic communications. See, another thing that, when you talk about that, people would be like, oh, you're one of those conspiracy theories, guys. Tinfoil hat wearers, right? Yeah, well, according to the 1960s CIA reports, way back, which was recently released under the Freedom of Information Act, the USSR had looked extensively into metaphysical phenomena such as extrasensory perception, ESP, and telepathy during the Cold War. At this time, there was great interest in the potential to use telepathic communication to interface directly with machines, a field generally referred to as cybernetics. You know how that movie ends, too. In one of the reports, Soviet scientist D.A. Kerminov had told a CIA agent that his team had attempted to record or tape the central nervous system signals of a pianist and broadcast them into the arms of another person who had been otherwise unable to play the piano. That person would then be enabled to play difficult music, but also would retain some of the skill as permanent learning, the agent wrote. That'd be pretty cool. I'd like give piano lessons a whole new, like, hey, I need some guitar lessons. I suck at it, and you go in, you spend your 30 minutes for your lesson, and you come out like playing like Eddie Van Halen. That'd be worth, whatever. But there's also the downside that someone would program your brain to, go to the mall and like blow the place up. The agent who conducted the interview also gleaned hints of other experiments too. He claimed that he'd been able to demonstrate very strong ESP extrasensory perception with certain subjects, but only certain persons are capable of receiving the waves, he wrote. Some of the ESP in which he admittedly believed involved not merely guessing events, but the prediction of future random events. Of course, the United States had also conducted its own secretive research in a metaphysical phenomena all around the same time, including the use of remote viewing to spy on the Soviets. It's also likely that both were involved in even more out there experiments that we have yet to hear about. Whether or not either side saw any genuine success, however, remains a topic of debate. But yeah, again, I see the upsides to it, but to every upside, there's usually like 6 downsides.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. Stargate.
You were correct, Debbie.
Oh, eating blubber. Right.
If you're like me, you don't really enjoy weddings as much as most people do. Might find them a little bit boring and avoid going to them. But if they had cake like this, I might reconsider. Wedding guests flying high as kites. Oh, flying high as kites after one tier of cake is laced with marijuana. Who gets that lucky tier? A man has gone viral after baking a marijuana-laced wedding cake for his sister. Wedding guests were apparently left high as kites after 29-year-old Alvaro Rodriguez of Santiago, Chile, laced one of the 7 traditional-looking cake tiers with cannabis. Alvaro spent a reported 20 hours making, baking, and decorating the elegant-looking cake, which was served up at his sister's wedding venue last month. I wonder if they knew.
This dude down here in the corner is baked.
And if there were kids.
It says the cake was kept away from children.
Oh, it did? Okay. Alvaro's...
How the hell are you going to keep cake away from a fat kid? Come on. Seriously?
Although cannabis is illegal for all production and public consumption in Chile, it is legal for private at-home consumption. Alvaro's sister requests the unique wedding cake ingredient herself after having enjoyed sampling some magical brownies. And all guests, were made fully aware what had gone into the special layer before tucking in. So they're all hoping they get that special layer.
Yep.
Footage which has since clocked up. I should have found the footage. More than 13 million views on TikTok shows guests cheering as the new bridegroom slice into the innocent-looking wedding cake. The video then cuts into about 20 of the 100 guests dancing around happily, laughing as the effects of the cannabis took hold. One commenter remarked that they were definitely doing this on my wedding day. While another wrote, okay, I don't want to get married, but now I've seen this and I want to get married, then divorce. Well, definitely I've been happy with my magical wedding cake. So, yada yada. He infused it with butter the day before. So, pot wedding cake. That might make me want to go. But then I'd want cake before everything.
Yeah. Can we just skip the ceremony and go right to the cake?
Can we have the cake first?
We have the cake first. It'll make the ceremony a lot funnier.
Before everything else.
Oh, man.
I'm just not into weddings. I didn't know I was into weddings. I never did expect no to go to mine. I eloped.
Yep.
You know?
When I got married, I did it at my grandparents' house, and it was like, want to get married? Yeah, when? This weekend, and it was like a Thursday. And didn't really tell anybody. One of my best friends showed up. I was like, how did you find out?
April 4th would have been my anniversary. We just drove to Tahoe, got to the wedding chapel, stayed at Caesar's Palace. So, like, the wedding photographer was also the witness. $125 complete package. Looking at the wedding album, you wouldn't know no different.
Yeah.
Had a big party after.
The girl that married us, I think she got put in jail like shortly after that. Oh, man. Let's see. Where am I going? I'm going to... Let's see. What's this article about? Oh, okay. This one's kind of cool. I don't know. This is one of those you decide. And I don't know how good. I got a video. Don't know how good it's going to show up on the old, YouTube or facial book or any of that. Fart book. But ghostly mist spooks cat in new paranormal footage. Any of you guys seen this one? It's been blasting its way around the interwebs. And what it says about...
Oh, I almost did that one.
A homeowner has been left terrified to enter her own basement after capturing something strange on camera. I've caught weird things on camera. I've seen weird things in my house. I've heard weird things. I've smelled weird things. Other people that have been here have seen and heard weird things, but I've never been terrified to go back into my house yet. Anyways, 45-year-old Kathy Gallagher, who hails from Quint, West Ontario, Canada, first moved into her home back in October 2018 and quickly began to experience unusual occurrences such as objects moving on their own and sightings of shadowy figures in the darkness. Yep, had both of those here. One incident, however, has spooked her more than any other. And while Todd's in here, I remember one night we were talking. Is Todd still in here?
I think so, yes.
It's always stuck with me about Todd. I don't even know what we were doing one night. We were on Paranormal Soup, or it was before or after or whatever. But you remember the night that you said you went to take a whiz in the bathroom, Todd, and something looked in your window, but you were like on the second story or something. That story's always stuck with me.
I remember that story.
Yeah. The footage, which can be viewed below, appears to show a dark mist emanating from her mother's old dolls and spooking her cat, which seems to react to the phenomenon by running away. The dolls themselves date back to the 1950s. I think my house must be haunted. But I love this house, said Kathy. The only way we'd consider moving is if it became violent or anything was to harm any of us, of course. But as it stands right now, other than a few things moving around, just scaring the life out of us, we've become used to it. Well, it didn't start out like that, and said she was terrified to enter her own basement. And now she's saying, we're getting used to it. So, does this footage represent genuine evidence of paranormal or something else going on? You decide. Let me get the video here. And it probably is going to be hard to see. And it's hard running all these and trying to get the comments and everything else. Okay, here's the video.
I'm going to run and get some peppermint real quick.
Alright. Gotta make sure I turn the sound down because I had music playing when I screen captured this. So there's no sound, but it's just video. Is where you're going to see these two dolls sitting over here. The cat is behind the little, there's the cat. But these two dolls over here, there's a mist that kind of comes out of this area, and the cat's just sitting there, and all of a sudden the cat's like one of those cartoon things where it's like, and it just hauls butt. And it plays it a couple of times. Cat's obviously looking at something. And he's like, I'm out of here. I don't know what I just saw, but I'm out of here. It's kind of hard to see, but you see the mist coming out, right? Like right, but kind of between the two. Play it again. Play it again, Sam. It's really kind of hard to see. But there it is, coming out right now. The cat's like, I'm out of here. Yeah, the cat's like, screw this. I don't know what that is. Yeah, you should send some photos of your ghostly mists. We'll throw them up on the screen. Yeah, the cat was spooked by the farting doll. Exactly. Was the doll farting? Was trap spirits coming out of the dolls? Who knows? Was it just somebody left like an old sandwich behind them and cat smelled it? I don't know. It's like I said, it's hard to see, but there is like this mist or something that comes from where the doll's area is. And the cat is like all interested, and then it's like, I'm out here. So what do you guys think? Is that a crucifix between the dolls? I don't know. Is it? Let's see if I can make this bigger. So I don't know. Look at this creepy ass doll up here. Holy crap. That thing would freak me out. Does the video, is it more clear if I play it bigger like this?
Well, that looked like a dust orb that went by. Is that what you guys, oh, what is this?
You see, there's this misty stuff that comes out of the dolls over here, and the cat hauls ass. See it coming out?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it does look like the dolls are farting. Maybe Zach's right.
They're farting dust.
Aww. Yeah, it's like, oh, God, I got a whiff of that. I'm out of here.
And from looking at so much CCTV, sometimes the dark spots will actually, like inside the fireplace, would make it look like stuff moving that wasn't moving. But that doesn't look like from the CCTV.
Yeah. I don't know, man. This is the creeper doll up here in this case. Why is it in a glass case? And then you have these two porcelain.
And it freaked the cat out.
Yeah, you got these two porcelain-headed demons over here. And then what's this guy? Like, I don't know what that is and what this is. And you got some kind of naked girl floating in the air up here, and this giant Dongdo thing over here. It's a strange house. I don't know. Weird stuff in their basement. Let's ask the cat. See what he says.
Yeah.
Cat was definitely spooked. Haunted dolls. Yep. Mama said there'd be days like this.
I'm having all sorts of difficulties. So we've got a nurse haunted by a growling old hag. Nurse haunted by growling old hag ghost that's in love with her husband.
Oh. Little ghostly triangle love going on
Yeah. A woman said she's being stalked by a ghost who was in love with her husband, and now the family are being regularly haunted. Jima, 36, describes herself as a sensitive, a person who is more aware of ghostly senses and apparitions through energy coming from people, places, or things. She's seen ghosts all her life, but none that have caused such a ruckus as the growling old hag, who, according to a psychic, is in love with her husband, Jason, 32. The ghost, dressed in Victorian attire, softened when the pair had their first child, 8-year-old Cameron, and then left them alone, but awoke the young boy's psychic powers, and now he sees ghosts. She was initially haunted by the Jima was initially haunted by the ghost, but all that changed when Cameron was born in 2013. She said, luckily, she smiled at him, but we would always hear banging in the house, walking up the stairs and slamming doors, and she would growl too. When rawr. When Cameron came along, I kept seeing her near his cot, which I think may have been because he has the sixth sense. Lucky when they moved to Norfolk in 2015, they left the hostile spirit behind them, although Jima says they soon picked up new ghosts. She said that one day Cameron complained about an old lady on the landing, and the youngster was so scared he daren't leave his room at night. After Cameron complained, he started telling Jima about an elderly lady called Iris who was roaming in the landing in their 19th century cottage at night. The house where she had died more than 100 years earlier was named after her. And thinking back, Jima recalled Cameron pointing and staring into the air, as well as muttering away to an invisible person when he was just a baby. Those invisible friends.
Yep.
Jima said we would go for walks when he was 3 years old, and he would say, look, there's a woman on the bench, but there wouldn't be anybody there. He hated walking past churchyards or graveyards. He would say, look at all the sad people. She was particularly taken aback when he was 4, and she caught Cameron shouting out of the window, claiming he was speaking to his great-grandmother, who had died nearly 30 years before he was born. He had never seen a photograph of. Jima said a few years ago we could hear him shouting upstairs. So I ran up and asked him, who are you shouting at? And he said, Nanny back. That was what I called my nanny. We called her Nanny Hurtback because she always had a bad back. But when she died, I was 4 from cancer, and I had never mentioned it to Cameron. But given her family's psychic experiences over the years, it was no great surprise that Cameron had an affinity with the supernatural. Jem explained, my uncle is the same and could always see things as a young man. Then she talks about her nan. Living with spirits can be unpredictable. Chima says people should not be scared of them and that she's thankful for her otherworldly powers. She said, don't be scared if you're sensitive like me. If you act scared, you can sometimes attract bad spirits. You should also always listen to what's being said in case they have a message to pass to you or to someone else. So
It's weird, that picture, that somebody drew of kind of what she looks like. Kind of reminds me of, when I used to, my mom and dad had um, my dad was the manager, kind of ran the oldest store museum here in St. Augustine. And like my mom worked there, my aunt, and there was a bunch of other people, and they dressed like in, like period clothes of that time and stuff. And I would always be upstairs. That story about me being upstairs, like, doing artwork or whatever. And I would always, upstairs was like a storeroom. It was these shelves, that just had stock for the store downstairs, just, stock shelves. And I would always see this lady that looked kind of like this, dressed kind of like this, like walk by and look at me, and she would never talk to me. She just walk by, stop, look at me, and keep going.
is she not like walk through the wall, like right out the wall?
Yeah, like, yeah. I mean, and I'm up, on the second story of this building. Yeah, one day I got up and I was like, it's just a little kid, but I was like, why does this lady never talk to me, And I'd tell my mom, I like, who is the old lady that always comes up in the, the stock room? And she's like, what? And I'd describe her, and she's like, no, and I'd ask all the other people there, and no, they didn't know what I was talking about. And one day I was sitting there, and I turn around, and here she comes walking by. And I mean, so it didn't look like a ghost. It looked like a person, And I got up and followed her, and she went to the end of the aisle and just walked through the wall and disappeared 2 stories up. And it freaked me out a little bit. And the old blacksmith guy, he was like, he always like made all kinds of crazy cool stuff for me when I was a little kid. And I asked him about it one day, and he's like, nope. And he described her like to a T. He's like, nope, you're not crazy. I see her too. What you see in there, boy, is a ghost. And I mean, he kind of like, he kind of played it off like, don't worry about it. But I mean, he described her to a T, and he's like, yep, I see her all the time. He was the only person there besides me that used to see this old lady. And the time that when she walked through the wall and disappeared, I never saw her again after that. It's weird. Once he acknowledged it to me that he saw her, that's when I never saw her again. Kind of strange.
Do you have another one?
Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, I think I do. It's come to that time in the articles where, no, I got 2 more actually.
Okay.
Let me get rid of this one. And I think this is me. Yeah. Share screen. Incorporated. U.S. warship was stalked by balls of light in 2021. A previously unreported U.S. Navy encounter with UAPs has been revealed by former Marine officers. According to documentary filmmaker Dave C. Beatty, the incident involved the U.S. naval warship USS Carasafe, which has been on a training exercise off the east coast of the United States in October of 2021, when it encountered 2 balls of light. The objects, whatever they were, repeatedly pursued the vessel over a course of several days while remaining at a distance at around half a mile behind and an altitude of 200 feet. They had initially been spotted by the ship's watch at night, who discovered that for some unknown reason they were unable to lock onto the objects with thermal targeting. Some of the Marines believed the objects were part of an anti-drone weapon training exercise, but were left perplexed when available countermeasures did not have any effect on them whatsoever. When the incident was reported, the officer in charge was told the objects were not ours. So what were the UAP sightings? What were the UFO sightings that were ignored or never logged? Today, as more service members are reporting them, this leads to the indications that more are being observed. And yeah, I've talked to people that have been on boats out in the ocean. I mean, what better place to see UFOs, out on the ocean? There's no lights. You got a full unobstructed view of the sky. So if there's anything out there, if you're in the middle of the freaking ocean, you're going to see it for sure. But to have a couple balls of light like stalking you, that would be kind of trippy. Zach's hitting the hay. Night, Zach. What's up, Shelly? How's it going?
Good night, Zach.
And yeah, Debbie, I saw your comment. You said you might see me this weekend. I'll be there Friday and Saturday. Saturday's gonna be definitely a little more. I'm doing Friday playing drums, hand drums and percussion. So Saturday, be with my regular band playing.
So this one, bombshell FBI memo reveals that a UFO did crash in Roswell, New Mexico.
Conspiracy theory.
In 1947, something crashed outside of Roswell, New Mexico, and was brought to Roswell Army Airfield for Army officers. Since then, there has been many a discussion about what exactly the object was. That's because soon after the incident, the Roswell Army Airfield issued a press release announcing they had recovered a flying disc. The Army was quick to retract and say that it was actually just a weather balloon. Then in the nothing to see here.
Move along.
Then in the 70s, a retired Army officer who retrieved pieces from the crash came out to say he believed it was extraterrestrial. The conspiracies continued, and in 1994, the Air Force published a report calling the object that crashed a nuclear test surveillance balloon, and any alien bodies were just test dummies dropped from high altitude. Rather than stopping all the talk about it being a UFO, that only added fuel to the fire. Now, thanks to the Freedom of Information Act, a very interesting document has come to light. It's currently in the FBI's vault, which contains thousands of records released via FOIA that have been scanned and uploaded. The Roswell document is a 1950 internal memo to J. Edgar Hoover, the director of the FBI, from the head of Washington, D.C. field office. The subject of the memo is flying saucers, and it describes how an Air Force investigator reported that 3 flying saucers were recovered in New Mexico. The memo went on to describe how each craft had 3 bodies of human shape, but only 3 feet tall, dressed in metallic cloth, or of a very fine texture. The report alleges that the incident happened in New Mexico because of a very high-powered radar device that the government has there, which had interfered with the UFO's controlling mechanisms. The memo is pretty shocking, but the FBI stepped in to explain why it shouldn't be. They pointed out that the memo is actually just a second-hand account of what might have happened. One, the Bureau never investigated. They also said that because the document was dated 1950, 3 years after the Roswell incident, it might not even be referring to what actually occurred in Roswell. They went on to state that the document had been around for years, and just because it has appeared on the FBI's vault site doesn't mean it's earth-shattering. That's not stopping conspiracy theorists who aren't buying what the FBI is saying and fully believe the report. I have a joke. What's the difference between a conspiracy theory and the truth? About 6 months.
There you go.
That's not stopping conspiracy theorists who aren't buying what the FBI is saying. They fully believe the report. There's a lot more about Roswell on the vault site too, and you can read it all here. They give some links and whatnot, and a copy of the memo.
Yeah, if you can read the memo.
Looks like it's been faxed over 3 times.
Yeah, Jamie read part of it, but yeah, I don't know if you can read it online, but it says an investigator for the Air Force stated that 3 so-called flying saucers have been recovered in New Mexico. They were described as being circular in shape with raised centers, approximately 50 feet in diameter. Each one was occupied by 3 bodies of human shape, but only 3 feet tall, dressed in a metallic cloth of a very fine texture. Each body was bandaged in a manner similar to the blackout suits used by speed flyers and their pilots. According to Mr. Informant, the saucers were found in New Mexico due to the fact that the government had a very high-powered radar setup in that area, and it's also is believed the radar interference with the something controlling mechanics of the saucers. I don't know if I read that last part right or not, but yeah, Roswell. They said 3 flying saucers were found with small little aliens in it dressed in these weird cloths. And, if it's real.
Didn't I tell you that's what we'd be wearing one day?
Yeah. Meep, nip, meep, nip. Yep.
Simlish. Dag, dag.
Dag, dag. Dag, nabbit. All right.
That's it for articles for me, but then I have astrology after.
I got, oh man, what happened to it? Don't tell me I lost it.
You didn't lose it.
Oh, no, I think this is it. No pictures on this one. But
we can use our imaginations.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, definitely use your imagination on this one. Wolfie sent this to me.
Uh-oh.
There goes the neighborhood. Let's see. Where is it? Where is the article? Okay. Too bad Zach left because this is from Phoenix, Arizona. Should have read it while Zach was here. But yep, you can see the. No, you can't see it. I haven't shared it yet. What is wrong with me? Okay, here it is.
What's going on around here?
Might have seen this one. Then again, might not. But passenger accused of masturbating. Not once, not twice, not 3 times, but 4 times on a Southwest flight. Hey, I'll give it to him for the stamina. What the hell is going on with our world? Phoenix, Arizona. Huh?
After this, you need to Google why cornflakes was invented.
Really?
Yeah.
A man was arrested after admitting to inappropriately touching himself and exposing himself multiple times to other passengers on a Southwest Airlines flight. Court documents revealed Antonio Sherrod McGarity is accused of masturbating 4 times during a flight from Seattle, Washington to Phoenix, Arizona. On April 2nd, while on board the flight, court documents say that McGarity started touching himself shortly after takeoff. The comments on this article were the best. The woman passenger who was sitting next to him told authorities he pulled his pants down and exposed himself, which prompted her to pull out her phone and take some pictures of him. The woman also said, oh, this is a good one. Woman also said McGarity licked a white substance from his fingers and asked if she minded. Oh, man. When the woman alerted the flight crew.
After she recorded the whole thing.
Yeah. Well, this is just once. Apparently, he did it several more times. She alerted the. I missed a line. After he did this, he fell asleep. That's when the woman alerted the flight crew, and she was moved to another seat because apparently her area was
tainted.
Tainted. Clean up. Aisle number 9. During the interview with the FBI, McGarity allegedly admitted doing what the woman reported. McGarity said, I asked the woman if she minded him doing it, and she just put her hands up in the air like it really didn't matter. And investigators said McGarity thought his actions were kind of kinky, and he didn't think it made the woman uncomfortable at all.
In fact, she started recording it to save it for later.
Yeah. But now he's facing a lifetime ban from Southwest Airlines, in addition to some criminal charges. Oh, man. There's
probably
a time.
Scared to fly and didn't want to take a Valium.
Yeah. So he just figured he'd, beat the stress out.
I can't believe she sat and waited and didn't hit the button for the nurse the person to come out.
Yeah.
While it was happening. I almost walked in that one.
Yeah, I was going to say, Yeah.
So.
Endorphins to relieve anxiety.
And I don't want to be whatever, but a white substance. What's white?
Yeah. Because he was cleaning up after himself.
But I mean, white?
I don't know.
Well, I guess so.
I mean, time and a place for everything.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really have any plans of going and, having a whack session on an airplane full of people. But then again, we did read that one. I think you read it a couple weeks back about the Mile High Club that you actually pay for to get your own room on the airplane.
Oh, that's right.
This guy was like, I'm not paying. I'm just self starting right here for free. Wow.
I think that's pretty messed up at her to tell on him after. And recorded it.
Yeah.
Dick what? Dog meat.
Right.
Oh, man.
What meat?
Dog meat.
Oh.
Okay. Moving on. Nothing
So,
to
here. This week in astrology.
Let me cue that up. Yeah, how do you follow beating up on a plane?
That's when we just take it to a whole new.
Yep.
I've got my notes out of order. Tonight's moon phase, we are in a waxing crescent. Moon sign in Gemini. And the next full moon is in 9 days. First quarter is in 2 days. On the 4th, Mars conjoined with Saturn. And we might still be feeling effects of that. Right now, a lot of people are asking about different energies. And what we have is Mars conjoining with Saturn. And then Jupiter and Neptune are about to conjoin. We have solar flares going on. Just a whole lot of crazy energy. What was it? Pisces, Venus is in Pisces now, so it's like a whole lot of stuff. So you're going to be feeling all over the place right now. Mars conjoining with Saturn is the time to find the stamina to do hard things, face up to your challenges, honor your boundaries, take your time, take responsibility. The two majestics coming together in Aquarius, bringing an intense transit of frustrating contradiction. Mars is our drive to move forward and make progress. In Aquarius, Mars wants the freedom to do whatever it wants, when it wants. Unfortunately, Saturn has a stronger influence in Aquarius and the power to say no, putting a major stop to whatever we passionately want to do around this time. We may find ourselves pushing hard towards a goal that eventually allows us to have more autonomy, freedom, and choice in our bodies and lives. But that outside circumstances simply won't allow right now. We could find roadblock after roadblock, slowing us down or putting us on an entirely different path together. Mars enters Taurus on April 10th, or Mercury enters Taurus April 10th. This will add grounded effect or a grounded element to our communication and thought process. We are thinking long term and searching for value in everything. On April 12th, Jupiter conjoins Neptune. We'll start to feel the influence of this connection from April 7 to the 17th, with the peak being the 12th. This is a beautiful portal that opens for us, leading to profound awakenings and dreams that come true. And that's kind of the thing that everybody's talking about. Dreams that you never thought were possible could be possible at this time. Pay close attention to what transpires during these dates, as it's truly a gift from the universe. Remember that this is a once-in-a-lifetime alignment packed with bountiful and beneficial energy. So you definitely want to take advantage of the energy happening on the 12th. Venus in Pisces moved into Pisces April 5th through May 2nd. For that, you're going to expect longing for profound spiritual connections, journey of deeper self-discovery, increased empathy, sensitivity, compassion, romance, desire of conscious connections, seek divine union and experiences of bliss, going with the flow, and desire to begin a spiritual practice. We have also Venus is the god of love, beauty, and pleasure. And in Pisces, she shows more empathy and unconditional love in partnerships and relationships. Venus feels at home in Pisces, and we will feel more spiritually connected in love and intimacy. The forecast for April, we talked about the conjunction. It's the one-of-a-kind event of the year, astrological event of the year. Represents collective awakening, heightened spiritual energy, boosts creative innovation, can trigger escapism, heightened emotions. And then the 14 through 18, the sun will conjoin with Aries, work hard to find your harmony. And then after that's for the weeks after. The one other thing to bring up is the black moon eclipse portal is open April 2022 has 2 new moons in 1 month, one on the first of the month and one on the last day of the month. The second new moon is on the same day as a solar eclipse. This makes April a portal of new moon eclipse energy, known as a black moon eclipse portal. what this means for you. Time to do your shadow work. Many opportunities to overcome karma. Great time for healing and energy work. Time of manifestation, so focus on what you want and not what you don't. Love, healing, and vision miracles are upon us. Great time to start something new that you really want to do with your life. And that be that.
Yeah. I've seen several people say it in the chat, and I was just talking to Jamie before the show about how I haven't been sleeping worth a crap the last few nights at all, and had to like knock myself out the other night to get some sleep. But yeah, it's like, and yeah, I was talking to Jamie earlier today. I was in a pretty bad mood earlier today, wasn't I, Jamie? Yeah. I haven't been myself lately.
Just a little bit.
Yep.
And so also today we have half an hour, and I didn't get time to put notes together on this story. I'm trying to find the one I sent you, Rob.
Yeah, Debbie said she's had horrible insomnia too. You got a lot going on in your world too, Debbie. With your mom and your aunt. And, yeah, man. But yeah, same thing here. I've had insomnia. Like, was sitting in here the other night, like doing this, got up, go to bed, and I'm like, look, a squirrel.
So tonight we're going to do ITC on a case, what happened to Mary Day. And it's 48 hours that I saw the other day. I had included the link, which is basically the whole episode transcribed out. I'm going to put it in chat real fast. And I didn't get a chance to make notes or anything, so I'm just going to wing it and go off of the main parts that I remember. And then when we listen back after like learning more about the case, you'll see what words could be relevant or not. But in 1981, 13-year-old Mary Day disappeared. She did not come from the best family. Her mother got pregnant early and had several children that she just gave up. None of them went to public school. She actually traded one of the daughters for something, fostered another one out. So all the kids got separated. She ended up getting Mary back and one of her sisters back. And she was married to a gentleman who was in the military. They moved around a lot. Well, one day he came home. Okay, she used to run away all the time because of alleged abuse. And he came home one day very, very upset because the dog was sick and dying. And he was getting mad at her, saying that she poisoned the dog. She said she didn't. The sister said that there's a lot of fighting. And then Mary came out with her nose bleeding and left. And they never saw her again. Well, the mom threw away all the pictures, said, let's not talk about it. Dad said, don't go in the spot in the backyard. There was no record of her anywhere. She had never been in school. It's like this girl just disappeared into thin air, never even existed. The other sister came back and asked what happened to Mary, and the sister told her we're not to talk about what happened to Mary. The man admitted under an interrogation that he did not kill Mary. That if his body was involved, it wasn't him; it was the demon in him. That his wife had seen the demon in his eyes that night. And another interesting thing, they had been still cashing her disability checks. The police had come out finally, it'd been some time. They brought cadaver dogs. The dogs did pick up on a scent in the back. to check the soil. There was decomp in the soil and everything, but no body. And they had moved a lot because, base. So they're going through the trials. Mom had her declared dead, all this stuff. And like hella years later, all of a sudden, a cop says, "Guess what? We found Mary Day." They're like, "How?" They said, "Well, on this routine stop for stolen plates, we pulled this gal over and she had a state issued ID that said she was Mary." When I first looked at the pictures, I knew it was that child because of the eye. And I thought, okay, that looks exactly like her, right? And so the transcripts go by, like how the girl's trying to say, she's the sister, she's Mary, blah, blah, blah. The sisters went and met her and said it wasn't her because like her accent was too different, and that she did not know the keyword Mohawk, which was they had an inheritance left for them. And so they always used the word Mohawk as like a secret thing. The girl also did not remember anything to do with the dog. I'm thinking, okay, head trauma, because the girl did say, "Oh yeah, my dad beat me that day. He beat my head against the bathtub and the corner of this and that." And I thought, well, maybe she could have had, memory knocked out and been living under the radar. Well, they ended up doing a DNA test. Came back matching the mother. So they ended up then saying that she was an imposter. Long story, got to read all the details. They were entertaining the fact that she could be another illegitimate child, since the mother had given so many kids away. But the fact that she looks exactly like her, my mom says twin, same DNA, this and that. Maybe she had a twin that she had given away. Then there was some shady stuff where because the license and everything was convenient. Once the people started coming around asking questions, they got in touch with her and did some commingling, collusion together. And this new woman came out wanting to close the case, and they closed it for good and said Mary died. A cadaver dog came to another location they lived, where again the dog hit on a spot with decomp and a little child's shoe, though the shoe did look a little bit too small to be Mary at the time. So they closed it. I feel like it could have been a twin. I'm curious to know, did they get away with murder? Who was buried? And, they were still cashing the check. Shouldn't that be some sort of disability fraud? I did contact the detective after this and brought some of this stuff up, the main detective. But that's like the base to the story. If you want to know the rest, you can check out that link I sent. And we can see what the box has to say.
You want me to play this video or what?
Oh yeah, that was just a slideshow of just her pictures.
Okay.
That could have just been playing while I was talking.
Sorry.
Oh, but you can play it while the box goes.
Yeah.
To help as like a trigger. And so this will be her, and then they show like the woman next to her, and you can see, I don't know if it's inverted camera why the eye, was like that, but or if it's a twin, she just had an eye like that on the other side. That's her family, the mom in the middle. Some of these makes me look, that's the stepdad who did say he killed the demon killed somebody. Yeah. So he basically confessed to a murder. The mom was just kind of didn't care about anything, threw away anything to do with Mary.
Yeah, that's weird in itself, You're a mom. You kind of want to know what happened to your kid. Maybe.
And you wouldn't throw away everything that you had left. But then again, she gave her kids away to begin with.
Yeah, I was going to say, there's a lot of shitty parents out there, so maybe so. I say you wouldn't do that, but what do I know? I'm not a shitty parent, so.
Yeah. So I already feel like the man got away with murder. I'm just curious, was she a twin? I just have a lot of questions, and I just want to see what the box might say.
Yeah. Just said Bill.
And Rossi. Do you know who we're talking about tonight? Can our guides help find out information about this little girl, Mary Day?
Was.
Vision. Come on.
Do you know what happened to Mary?
John.
Velocity. Yours. Like so. Who's gonna? I'm just gonna check their name, sure that they met, just to make sure.
What happened to this? What happened to this little girl? Does anybody know?
This
Yeah, like,
this picture right here. Is this the girl that they stopped in the traffic citation? Yeah. They look alike to me.
And when you see the other pictures, the way like the eyes look droopy and kind of like her pupils like as a child, and then just picture her older. They even had a face recognition software. I mean, they already had the dang DNA, but they had face recognition. It came out like 99 or 0.99% or 100%. Like that's the same person. So it's like, it's got to be a twin because it just doesn't add up.
Yeah.
She wasn't the actual Mary. I'm trying to remember his name.
What was Mary's father's name?
like the place. The So I can just
Oh, there, just went that off the desk.
William. Okay, you were saying Bill, and I thought whatever his name, or if it's Bill or anything like that. His name's William Houle, and the mother is Charlotte.
the motivation for
And then a sister's name is Sherry. What did it say?
I want you to feel.
Right when I turned it on, it said the first thing. I think it said Bill, and then I've heard it a couple other times.
Sherry and Kathy are the sisters. Oh, and now this woman has died a few years ago. She had some pancreatic. She had something wrong with her, and that's why she said she got the temporary card to begin with. And so she just died of cancer. So both people are you know, what I say is both people are dead now. But somebody got away with murder. I'm convinced of it. He was burying somebody.
Yeah.
And removing them. The sister said we were not allowed to go over here, and they would get mad if we came over here. And he said his body killed someone.
Yeah. Did you kill? No, but the demon in me did. Okay.
Whose fear? Maybe try asking some stuff from your end, since you're next to the box.
Can you tell us what happened to Mary Day?
Straight.
Angel Michael. Is the real Mary Day alive? Girls? Is the real Mary Day alive or dead?
What? Exactly.
Yeah, that's the question. Exactly.
Power now.
Was she a twin? Were there two Marys?
Fire inside the fire.
Whose body was, ask them whose body was buried in the backyard.
Close opened.
Whose body was buried in the backyard?
And while that's just so you don't get stand to call like that. One.
Did Mary have a twin sister?
Ow.
Do you guys know the key, the code word for the inheritance?
That sounds really good. 10. Cure.
Nope.
It's Mohawk.
The man.
Who did the shoe belong to that was found in the backyard?
2. 3. Just gonna.
Was the mother aware that a body was being moved?
6.
For two. John.
Commence.
3.
Is there a clue that could help with this case, even though it's closed?
Cool.
In case you're able to open it on something else.
God. Ow. Ow.
So in this picture, who is the older one?
That's the lady again.
Yeah.
Station.
If that's not her, that's definitely like they're definitely related.
Right? I mean, just
Same kind of eyes, same nose, same kind of smile,
same DNA.
same DNA. You know, I mean, DNA. You know, I can go with lookalikes, but DNA usually doesn't lie.
Yeah.
Should this case be reopened? No. Why shouldn't it be reopened?
So,
Did
Who's-
some
Go ahead.
did somebody get away with murder?
Acceptance. View.
vision.
Why shouldn't the case be reopened? Are you trying to hide something? You want it to remain hidden?
I want.
You know, the truth always comes to the top sooner or later, right?
No. That's restlessness. Literature. Oh, it's so nice.
Oh, yeah. Somebody brought it up. This says age progressed to 31. So this must be a computer
Oh, that one is?
enhanced picture. Yeah,
Yeah.
of what she would look like at age 31. Which looks an awful lot like.
The other. It's hard to see on my phone. You see it because that one that's on the front. Yeah, that one is.
This.
Yeah. Yeah.
So does anybody here know what happened to Mary?
Not enough. Here and nothing. Years.
I'm trying to remember the name that the sister used to go by.
Yeah.
Isolation from the city.
So the dad stated that the demon in him may have killed her. Is that true?
Mary, you can look in.
Yeah, we're talking about Mary.
They used to call the sister Arizona Mary.
I'm not gonna.
I'm trying to find the name that she used to use.
Little.
Who was evil?
Get.
Monica Devereaux is what she called herself. Are there any guides surrounding Monica Devereaux around right now? That could help. Oh, thank you, Angela. I couldn't see your comment till I checked the StreamYard one. But you were correct.
Extreme.
So, is there anybody else here that can give us any help, any clues of what happened to Mary?
Hate it.
Was the murder planned out? Heat of the moment or premeditated?
And I'm gonna go in and start thinking about just
All right, well, we got 5 minutes. Does anybody have any questions they want to ask before we go? Any messages for anybody in chat? Thank you for helping.
First,
pass it.
Does anybody have anything they'd like to say to any of these people that I'm scrolling by right now?
Rich earth and water.
Debbie could use a positive message. Can our guides get together and give Debbie something positive, please?
It's just about Mary.
Or leave some signs for her so when she sees it, she'll know.
Hi.
That's where I thought I heard it say something about Mary.
I know. Jeevan, I'm just gonna pretty much straight through here.
Any last messages for anybody in the chat room?
Yes. Deep.
And run wild and slow. Is it going to do in what I'm going? Complete. Not complete.
All right, I'm gonna turn the ghost box off in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Why do they always like get
Ready for what? He's
Yeah.
ready for your feet?
ready for your feet or ready for your to feel? I don't know what it said there at the end.
I said I'm ready for your feet.
You're one of those, huh? I'm ready for your feet. Like that guy in the nursing home that was the toe licker.
Like on Family Guy, and he would sneak in Mr. Herbert and
Yeah.
go to the big toe of Chris.
Yeah. Oh, nasty.
Please don't screenshot that.
Yeah. All right.
Is next weekend Easter? No.
I have no clue. No, I do not. I have no idea.
Wait. No, I think Jason put a link, but I haven't seen the flyer yet. So we do have Paranormal Soup the 10th.
Yep.
But not the 17th.
Nope. Yeah, it won't be for Easter weekend. So yeah, Herbert the pervert, exactly.
Touching myself.
When I think about you.
Touching myself.
Sick people. I don't know where that voice came from. Anyways, yeah, fun, weird Wednesday. We'll catch you guys Sunday for Paranormal Soup, and other than that, we gone. Y'all have a great rest of the week. Stay safe in the weird world we live in. Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs out there. Good night. Sleep tight.